Your computer or your phone? Do you think using one makes you more honest? Well, new research shows that we are more inclined to lie when using a laptop. Experts say it's because we associate our computers with our work lives, not our personal lives. And the study explains that phones are for our friends, they're for family, whereas a laptop can trigger a get ahead at any cost mentality that can be associated with professional culture. Okay, we want to dig into this with our panel. Sales executive and author Rob Swymer and news director for WGN Radio, Ryan Burrow. It's good to see you both. Thanks for being here. And Ryan, let's start with you. I mean, do you agree that we're more likely to lie at work than at home?
I like the control aspect of this, right? Because I can control everything you see behind me. I've got my notes all on my lap. You can't see any of that. It's much easier to control the message you want to get across, the things you want to say, the bullet points, if you will, on a laptop, I personally feel, than if you're trying to struggle with a phone. So I believe it makes sense. You feel a little bit more in control, and you can kind of maybe steer a conversation a certain way, as opposed to whether if you had a phone and there were a lot of X factors.
I mean, Rob, our phones are how we access social media. Isn't that more deceitful than anything that we could be doing on a work computer?
Absolutely, Natasha. I mean, I don't necessarily agree 100% with Ryan. I think that although we do have that control, we're the same person we are, whether we're on the laptop or the phone. And that line is now blurred. Who we are at home is who we are at work. And we see the kind of, I don't know, the fear of missing out on social media, the kind of posts that we see. Everybody's enjoying life and just living the best life. And yet, just recently, Ellen's co-host and DJ, Stephen Twitch Boss, was posting a great life he had with his kids, and yet he committed suicide. I think that we have to realize that although we have control, and Ryan's right, we are who we are, and we're the same people, whether we're home or at work.
Ryan, what do you think the solution is here? Because we can't stop using computers for work.
Yeah, it ultimately comes down to the person, right? It ultimately comes down to their ability to lie if they so choose. And whether you've got a phone or a laptop, that may not be the difference maker. But like I said, there might be a difference between lying and trying to steer a conversation or direct things with a little bit more control with a laptop. Perhaps that is ultimately what the difference is.
Okay, speaking of work, I do want to go to another topic. Experts say that there are huge benefits to eavesdropping on conversations that are happening at work. This is new research, and it shows that eavesdropping not only helps you stay in tune with what's going on at your company, but gives you a better understanding of your coworkers. Some workplaces are even trying to design their offices to promote more eavesdropping by embracing open concept layouts and communal spaces. I mean, Rob, be honest, are you an eavesdropper at work? Have you been? And is it a slippery slope?
Yeah, Natasha, this is a big slippery slope. What this is doing is really getting us even further away from the human connection. Instead of eavesdropping, set up a one-on-one, set up a conversation, and make a human connection with those around you that you work with and work under your charge. As a leader, I always did that. I think that eavesdropping and doing these kinds of things, I am absolutely against that. I think that we have to get back to, look, business is a spiritual game, and it's all about human connection and those relationships that we build for life as we do business with people.
Yeah, I think, Ryan, on the other hand, this study is saying that eavesdropping may be part of human connection. And if that's the case, does it mean that remote workers could be missing out on valuable information that's happening at the office and valuable culture?
That's part of it. I mean, I don't think anyone says, yeah, I'm an eavesdropper. I want to listen into other people's conversations. That being said, if you hear, whether it's a good story, a bad story, a tone, you might be able to understand a little bit more about kind of the condition or situation of your coworker. Maybe you hear them rattling off some frustrations, maybe now is not the time to talk to them about that deep project. Maybe wait a few minutes. So I agree that eavesdropping is not the answer, but you can kind of pick up little emotional tells perhaps by just listening to the tone of someone's voice or who it is maybe that they're talking to secretly.
Yeah, Rob, final thought from you. I mean, eavesdropping kind of has an inherently negative bent to it, yeah. But is there ever a situation where it's actually a good thing?
look, we're always going to analyze the body language and what they're focusing on, and what they're saying, and what they're putting meaning to. But that is also done by a human connection, a one-on-one, face-to-face interaction. I'm a big proponent of that, and I teach that in my practice for life coaching. And I think that will always win out over anything like eavesdropping or listening into conversations. We need to get more connected to people, especially now coming back after the pandemic. We got in the habit, Natasha, of being disconnected and being okay with that. And now what are we facing? Pandemics on loneliness and depression and anxiety. This is all going down that slippery slope.
I mean, Rob, I will say that more one-on-ones with my boss may not necessarily help my anxiety, but I hear the general point. I hear the general point. Rob Swymer and Ryan Burrow, appreciate both of your time. Thank you so much for coming on.